So as you can see, this is May the 13th of 2024, obviously. I mean, it's Sunday, May the 12th of 2024. Sunday, May the 12th of 2024. And I'm watching CBS Sunday mornings. And yeah, so you can see that this is actually May the 12th, 2024, Sunday. This is a Sunday. And okay, so I'm gonna have to show that that both my cell phones. It shows. And stop. And yeah, so anyway, as you can see, I have one contract from a government contract where it's a free phone for the most part with Assurance Wireless. I'm gonna win, but guys, I promise you, I've already won. I'm just telling you guys, don't misinterpret what being good is and what being worthy of any particular job in the government or any peculiar or advanced job means. But anyway, I have a cell phone, a smartphone. This is May 12th, 2024. I have a smartphone with Assurance Wireless, and I do have a smartphone with Metro by T-Mobile. And yeah, I might be able to get my third cell phone with AT&T, but I might not do so because everything is coming to an end, and I'm going to transfer. Well, I will be able to get my AT&T smartphone. It should be a Motorola again. I might be able to get a Motorola again this time around. Again, but yeah. But anyway, when I do transfer all of my accounts and everything to Khaled Sundiata Hassan, and when I say that, we are waiting for folks to bite and actually get an AT&T smartphone saying that they're the real Khaled Hassan. And look at what they look like. They're clearly the ones who look like they wrote the works, as if that actually matters. That's what a thief would say. A thief who works for the government, for the most part. But anyway, so there's no Khaled and Nicole Hassan, who's a known couple who have worked with Yale University and Harvard University or any of that, with a short, light-skinned woman claiming to be Nicole Hassan. That's not real. Those are not a real couple. And if they are a real couple, it matters not. Okay? I promise you. There's no short Nicole Hassan. There's no tiny or skinny, per se, short Nicole Hassan. Okay? There's no person known as Khaled Sundiata Hassan but myself. Okay? I am Jesus Christ. I am God. In all honesty. In a few weeks after I do what I do next month, I will be able to walk into heaven with Rashida Williams. I'm going to get a new body, and I'm going to get a new body. I'm going to be 6'5", slightly buff, not overtly muscular, but sort of stout, not fat. But I'll be 6'5". I'm going to look quite similar. I put a lot of weight on my face to cover that up, as you can see in my profile photo. Okay, I'm going to be 6'5", and Rashida is going to be quite tall and skinny, and athletic looking. And I'm ready to kill people over that. Okay? So we're gonna be waiting. Okay? But anyway, not kill, not murder anyone. But you understand what? Kill the will to fight. Don't show up ever again. That's what the point. That's what the message is. That's the message which will be articulated, communicated, enforced, and recognized. Okay? I'm not a murderer. I don't kill people. I don't batter people, but I want you guys to know I defend myself, and I've never killed a person in defending myself or harmed a person, egregiously or anything like that in defending myself. I've never had to. Security, I have security details everywhere I go, okay? That operates, that's employed everywhere I go toward my protection specifically. Okay, you guys can say whatever the fuck you guys want to say about that, but anyway. But anyway, I'm going to finish up the work paper. on. I'm going to finish up the work paper on the legal and political tenets on transconstitutionalism with respect to hemispheric and hemispheric, continental, and global integration. So I'm going to finish up this first draft. I actually published the first draft yesterday, but the completed draft is essentially going to have a third segment, and it's going to be on regional, domestic and regional integration, and domestic and regional use of transconstitutional theory or transconstitutionalism as a theory, an applied theory. So, but anyways, it's not yet truly, applied here in the United States of America. Even though we do, here in the system, the judicial system, we do argue that certain cases are relevant to this particular case and support this particular law, but it's not nominal that this particular case, lower ruling, has any true and predominant or any sort of a superseding power over anything else. But with transconstitutionalism, as an official policy, official procedure of a judicial system, it's a bit more nominal. A lower court case in support of a constitutional principle, a ruling constitutional principle, does have that sort of weight if it's argued properly towards supporting the constitutional principle and its proper interpretation. It's a bit more nominal, it's a bit more official, and it's declaratory. You can actually declare it in a transconstitutional system. So we're within an evolution. It's not foreign to us here in America or anywhere else in the world, transconstitutionalism, but it's certainly different than what we've practiced in the past, us as Americans, us as here in this hemisphere, Pan-Americans, and on a global level for the most part. The exceptions here and there, used in the past or experimented on, they have never really dominated any particular legal argument or legal debate or so forth. Okay? So I need you guys to know that's what I meant by that. All right? But anyway, I'm going to have this published today, and I'm going to have it. I'm going to publish it myself. I'm going to finish it up today and publish it myself. No one is publishing any work for me. Okay, I want you guys to know that no one is authoring any work for me whatsoever. And stop saying that I'm lying when I say that. I'm having a very hard time comprehending why you guys would think that I'm actually lying about this. What other kind of magic do you want to see? Guys, I'm warning you guys, okay? So yes, I've been all across the world using different aliases. That was top secret. It's now declassified temporarily. I've been all over the world working with all sorts of governments all over the world. I have children all over the world who are moving to the United States, from all over the world who are moving to the United States. My kids, my biological and genetic kids. And I've gotten to the point of having 1,000 plus genetic and biological kids at this particular point. Children, biological and genetic children with hundreds of women, clearly. But I've expressed the reason why. I've detailed top secret information that has to do with the Polaris constellation, the coordinates of the Polaris constellation, the higher universe that I'm from. I am God, I am Jesus Christ. And I'm bringing in my royal children from heaven, the most ancient of this particular constellation of Earth and 11 other planets. I took up to heaven and so forth. I'm bringing them in. They're trained. Their souls are trained to be able to get through the rigors and so forth. I'm bringing them in via my angels who are dreaming into this world with me. 3,000 for the most part at this particular point. 3,000 in general, but I'm not going to stress this too much, okay? I'm not going to stress having to say this over and over again too much. They're having a hard time believing that they're angels, they're undercover angels. They have no idea that they're dreaming into this world. The agents, the envious agents, are going to say that's envious, or ignorant agents are just going to say that's not true or we don't know. And you guys are just going to have to accept that they find out in secret that I have not lied at all, that they were not crazy and haven't believed that. Okay? That they are completely correct. Okay, guys. So, but yeah, this is the second segment of this video recording. I'm going to show you guys again. It's really May 12th, 2024. Well, that does not say May 12th, 2024, but you know, you can see the commercials are up to date. It's not just in my mind. Okay, so yeah. So I'm gonna expound on this a bit. Transconstitutionalism is not unconstitutional to the United States government if we treaty ourselves into the Union of the Americas and the world government, which we are going to do, guaranteed, no matter what. Treaty allows for that. In the interpretation of continental and international law, that's allowed for. In the interpretation of federal law or local law here in the United States, which are addressed by the United States system, then what is traditional is traditional. But when it comes to addressing what will be continental and global law, international law, within the respective tribunal system of the Supreme Tribunals, then with, you know, Supreme Tribunal of the Americas and the Supreme Tribunal of the world, or the World Court, then that's different. The Constitution of the Americas would provide authority to the Union of the Americas to address issues which are provided and protected within the Constitution of the Americas. Okay? And that's peculiar in itself. The Constitution of the Americas is just going to be that way. That's understood. And that's also going to apply to the world government when we do create a Supreme Court of the world, or the Supreme Tribunal of the world, the World Court. The Constitution of the world will address specifically international issues, international protection, rights, and stuff of that nature. Okay, so there's not going to be any sort of So what happens when there's some sort of contrast or some sort of conflict between a national or federal law or argument and an international continental law argument? Okay, what supersedes, right? If what is sovereign within country is addressed, then that's a sovereign issue that's going to be heard by the national or federal courts of that particular nation. Or if it's taken up by the Continental or International Tribunal of the Americas, it's going to be interpreted in understanding this. We're going to understand that this is a sovereign principle or a sovereign issue, but it's our job, us in being within the Supreme Tribunal of the Americas or the Supreme Tribunal of the World Court in the future, speaking of the future, it's our job to make sure that it's interpreted well and competently and correctly by the domestic courts, and that it corresponds with our constraint, what we have provided to every member state of the respective union or the world government. You know, that's how it works. It's a lot of work, and it's always toward the right end, and it's not toward making people arbitrarily happy. It's toward making people safe and competently better. That's the road to happiness. That's the road to happiness that keeps everyone safe as possible. Making people competent in their treatment of each other and making people better themselves, their personalities, whether via fear tactics, lawful fear tactics, the judicial system, the law enforcement system, or via advocacy, tutorial, education, and so forth. That's how things work, guys. Okay? You guys are not going to be able to challenge me on any intellectual argument. Okay? What I want from you guys is to do as I say within the constraint I provide, within, you know, via your humble and honest interpretation of it. I've been humble and honest in interpreting the blueprint provided to me in creating the universe. I respected the constraints provided to me from the most ancient of existence zones and universes. They provided a blueprint. I can work within this constraint. I can create the human journey within this constraint. And I understood that from the get-go. That's how things work. I'm a million years older than the rest of you guys. Million plus years older than the rest of you guys. You guys can accept that, trust me. I created humanity in this world. I really did. Okay, I created this universe. I really did. Okay? You guys can accept this. Do you guys understand? This is not a joke. This is not some sort of competition. This is not me saying I want my woman back to a celebrity who's supposed to argue that he's supposed to have more women than me because he's a celebrity or because he works hard playing basketball. Nah, that's just a joke. I got you guys good. Okay? I took all my women away, all my angels away. You guys are not going to get them back. You guys fucked up. You guys bit the wrong bait and you guys fucked with the wrong person. I am Jesus Christ. I got you.